Hey guys, wanted to make a brief video. I have not done a YouTube video in a while, but I wanted to share with you this cool thing I saw online the other day, this concept I think is really, really important to remember. The guy that I was watching in the video, he said, you're not always gonna be motivated, but you still have to take those steps. And I thought to myself, that is crucial. People need to know that, need to understand that, because it's true. You're not always going to have motivation to do what you have to do, to what you need to do to get to where you want to go. I have recently specifically been trying to remember that in school life and in work life and in general, is that mindset, because I'm not always going to be motivated to do something like this, make a video, record a podcast, write script for a podcast. Because that's been a big thing recently, is scripting them so they're a little bit more formatted, they have a little bit better content, things of that nature, or sitting down to practice scales, or in order to get to even this level, which is cartoonish and silly, but even to get to like this level, like getting better and better and better over time. That stuff takes that practice, takes that time. Those initial steps, very, very important. Those are some very simple examples. We're not always motivated to do those first steps. A lot of times we get caught up in thinking about success, thinking about money, thinking about the future, like that's what we want. We want to be there, but to get there, you got to start at point A to point B. There's a process, and it takes the hard work. You could spend all your time sitting around thinking, oh man, I'm not there, I'm not successful, it must not be working. Whatever it is you're doing, like there's that initial step, starting it, and then like all the little tiny steps between there and the completion of a thing, or the next level of a thing, where you have to be faithful and consistent in that and following through. Because a lot of times, like I said before, we get caught up in thinking about results and the end of something, whereas we should really be focusing on being in love with the process. Because if you don't love the process, you're going to be miserable, thinking I have to get here to be happy, to this end point. That's where happiness is, right there. And I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to be happy. So taking those steps to go from point A to point B, you have to do that, to trust the process. And you can't get stuck in thinking, oh, I'm not here, therefore I'm not successful, or therefore I'm not happy, therefore I'm not any of these other things. Take step, 1, step 2, step 3. Love the steps, love the process, because if you love that, you're going to be able to accelerate exponentially, go from, point A to point B and C and D and E and all, you keep going up and up and up if you love the process, and you'll get there. But I want to make this brief little video for you all, talk a little bit about that, about loving the process, about taking that first step when you're not always going to be motivated. Because, if I was only to do work when I was motivated, I would not be where I am today. And I'm not, hugely successful or, doing tons of stuff, but I mean, to be where I am today and that I'm trying to grow, like I'm in school, I have my job, I'm doing the podcast, I am training for the marathon, I launched a new item on my Etsy shop last night, and like being able to kind of be consistent in those things takes that first step of like, I don't really always want to do this, I don't feel like this is always a lot of fun, but taking those steps is important. If you don't take that first step, you're never going to get anywhere. Take that first step, see what happens, and fail and fail again. And a lot of people will say failure is just a step towards success. Failure is just a piece of the puzzle. If you get caught up in, oh, I failed, and you don't think of yourself as, oh, it's a step in the process, you're going to have less drive to go back at it again, be like, oh, I failed that before, I'm going to fail it again. But if you think it's a step in the process, if you think, failure upon failure upon failure, you build on that, you work towards success. And of course, love the process. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. Because you don't get to be your best self and live your best life. You don't get to be successful or all these things by not putting in work. You have to put in the work to get to where you want to go. So that's my 2 cents. I'll see you very soon.